Bist du bei mir?
You've probably heard the word Luddite in casual conversation. You've probably heard the term Luddite used as sort of a soft jab at people who are old-fashioned, people who are resistant to automating their daily life. People who don't want smartphones. People who resist social media. There are people, mostly elderly people, but there are people that still don't even use email just because they still use snail mail. And I think as we sort of toss the word Luddite around, I think that, like a lot of words in the modern lexicon, we kind of don't know the history of that word. I think Luddites are important to every generation because the Luddite movement, led by a English weaver, group of English weavers, craftsmen in England, were resistant to automation of their trade. Meaning they were not, I think it's a misconception that Luddites were against automation and technology on its face. The argument of the Luddite movement was that machinery would be used to turn skilled labor into unskilled labor. Or at least to undermine skilled laborers, craftsmen, professional weavers, by bringing in sort of anybody off the street who could operate this very simple machinery. So you didn't need to know how to weave and spend years learning to master it. Now you would be able to do the same work with a little minor training. Now, this week, one of the biggest stories in the news was the Amazon Go program. The online retailer Amazon experimented with technology that would replace the staff in a conventional supermarket with barcode scanners and face recognition and robotic arms and things like that would take the place of the checkout girl and the cashier and the stock manager and all the people that work at your local supermarket that make your shopping experience possible. And on its face, this is a bad faith move from Amazon for a lot of reasons. There are like levels to this. The most easily distinguished problem here is that you're replacing people who need jobs in order for communities to work with machines, because you don't want to pay a reasonable wage. You don't want to provide health care benefits. You don't, I guess I'm talking to Jeff Bezos. You don't want to deal with labor laws and keeping workers safe. So it's very sort of a cynical, corporatist move. This sudden rush in the last 8 to 10 years towards automation. The Roman emperors of Silicon Valley are tired of the plebs. The brutal homelessness epidemic in San Francisco is not coincidental. It's ivory tower time in Silicon Valley, and they have built their towers very tall. And all they see down here are ants. I think Google has had too much time in their room alone. I think that Amazon has not been, on the ground level. I mean, Amazon has some pretty egregious history in terms of the labor standards in their warehouses. I mean, you read all these think piece articles about the slavery level, the productivity standards in the Amazon warehouse. I guess I'm a hypocrite because I use Prime and I like my 2-day shipping and all that stuff, but the truth is the truth, and Amazon has a history of really badly overworking employees and not maintaining proper ventilation in their warehouses. There are stories of warehouse workers passing out and becoming extremely dehydrated because they'll be in a warehouse that's 120 degrees because it's not properly ventilated. Problems with asbestos. So Jeff Bezos, the CEO of Amazon, like a lot of other big shot CEOs, has the bright idea of cutting rather than doing the right thing and giving your workers air and giving your workers health care and giving your workers enough money to eat. It's just easier to pull a Blade Runner and bust out the replicants and bust out the robot arms and have the slaves be slaves. The word robot derives from literally the word slave. I mean, I think that to say that automation is a form of legal slave labor is accurate. I know people say that dictionaries are descriptive, not prescriptive, but if you look in the dictionary at the meaning of the word robot, so what is the answer to why Amazon cares about brick and mortar supermarkets? Why would they? They're an online marketplace. Well, here's the Amazon hustle. Amazon is notoriously a loss leader in the industry of online services. meaning they sell you goods beneath the cost that they need, beneath the price that they need to recoup a profit. In exchange for this, they make their money back on services. So they sell you a microwave for $40 that's worth $80, and then you pay them $99 a year to get your 2-day shipping and your Prime Video and your Prime Music, so on and so forth. That's one component of their business model. But a more insidious component of that same business model is Amazon Web Services. If you're not deep in the internet, you need a little bit of context on Amazon Web Services. Amazon Web Services literally is the language, the programming language of Amazon.com. And this programming language, this user interface that you use on Amazon is copyrighted and was carefully developed by the company and is leased to whoever you can name. The FBI, the CIA, Netflix, name your favorite website, and the architecture of that website, the skeleton of what you love about using that website, ease of use, is rented out from Amazon, licensed. So Amazon doesn't care about supermarkets and brick and mortar shops. They don't care about Amazon as a retail force in the physical world. What they are doing is a test kitchen scenario. What you have is Amazon trying to expand what they license. Amazon wants to license the blueprint for retail automation. And that's a serious problem. That is a very serious problem. Because what's happening is this is the end of work. And not in sort of this utopian sense that we're all going to be sitting around talking about Socrates and making expressionist paintings and stuff like that. No. Automation is a return to slavery. It's a loophole around human slavery, but it's automated. It's robots. So corporations are designed to maximize profit and externalize loss. And the only way to truly maximize profit is to hire slaves. And with the mass unemployment that will result from these Google self-driving cars replacing taxi drivers and these Amazon robot arm scanner cyborg RoboCop machines replacing the cashiers and stock workers at your local supermarket and replacing the Geek Squad at Best Buy and so on and so forth, you're going to hear a lot of talk about universal basic income. Universal basic income is just what it sounds like. It is a proposition for the state to subsidize the unemployed without qualification. Meaning, even if you have a job, universal basic income is paid to everybody. I think in some European countries, the proposal is something like $16,000 US a year, and then that replaces any sort of social programs that would ease unemployment poverty, or you name it, Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid. I don't think it's adequate. I think that universal basic income has its benefits, but I don't think it can replace the entire social safety net. My big concern with this Amazon thing, the Google Fiber, Google auto-driving cars, the Amazon auto shopping shops, is that it's another play by the same old people to make a dollar on a dime. And in America, I don't think, with all of the toxic rhetoric around the very anemic welfare state we already have in place, is going to allow for the passing of any sort of universal income legislation. So the end of labor in the United States really is the end for workers.